Hey guys, it's Will here. I was going to go through the markets again and any areas that might be doing better than others in sectors and stocks from those sectors. If you watch my videos in the past, you've seen I've been quite negative recently. And we're still in a pretty terrible situation from the charts perspective. So if you wanted to see where I started to indicate the problems, it's fairly accurate in terms of what I was concerned about. So let's just go through the markets here. If we look at the NASDAQ, you can see, we broke through the 50 and then we broke through the 200-day. So those are negative signs back here. Even back here where you haven't reached, you weren't able to break through this previous high and the downward momentum here. But once we broke through the 50, obviously that one there was a bad sign. It tried to come back up to the 200 and it failed a couple times here. So that was an indication if you're going to go short, if you're going to short the market, go against the market or use inverse ETFs, this was a good spot when it failed at the 200. But when I look at a whole bunch of things, I look at the momentum. I like the momentum to be above zero here and heading up like this. When it's down below and heading down, it's even if it's going up in the price, it's like a divergence. It's a bit of a tricky area. This downward sloping momentum, and then even if it crosses up here, you're down below zero. So this is one thing I look at. I also consider that you have the 200 here and a lot of resistance once you break through that to get through. Yesterday we had a big jump here. And you can get excited about that, but you try to be patient and look at, you're still under these. The other thing I look at is the volatility stops. So the green dots, like the price is above, is a better such scenario than when you get red dots and you're below. That's more of a shorting scenario. We're still underneath this 8 EMA, and we're not. We haven't gotten to a green volatility stop or anything. So I look at a variety of things. Obviously, I look at the trend line just based on price action. If you draw a line on the tops here, oops, I already have that line. So I'm using TC2000. It's got drawing tools and lots of indicators and some other charts that, indicators down here, volume, volatility stops and moving averages. Each one of these can be edited with colors and however you want it. If you want to get a free copy or trial, you can get $25 off going to my link in the description below. I've got the gold plan and I use real-time data for US. There's also pre-market and post-market data, so you can see what's happening prior to the market opening and after it closes. So that's the NASDAQ. If we look at IWM, which is a Russell 2000, similar situation. We're down below the 50 and the 200 in a downtrend, and we barely, we haven't gotten up over the 8 EMA. Momentum is increasing here, but below zero, and red volatility stops. But this is a big up candle, so there's a chance could be a reversal there. This is the Toronto Stock Exchange. It's in a better scenario because of oil and gold, but it broke through the 50. It's been very up and down, choppy here for quite some time. And there's a chance it's going to just cycle back and forth between this high and the low here, like in a channel. So these aren't really great visuals in terms of what you would like to see, more like this scenario above the 50 in a nice uptrend. I'm going to show a weekly chart in a second here, but S&P 500, same thing. Big, huge up candle yesterday. And there is a green candle today. So, some people get in right down there and buy the dips, but I like to see a more established uptrend because we have lower lows and lower highs as well right now. So. And the Dow Jones, similar situation. But if we go to the weekly chart, which is a stronger sort of chart, in terms of momentum. You can see that we broke down below the 50 on the weekly. There's this, it is pushing up here, but the downward momentum, this is a weekly chart, so there's stronger sort of trend lines. This is a downward slope. So that's, that's negative for the trend. We'd want to see it turn around and head upwards. Same with S&P, but we have this doji here, so this could be pushing back up again in reversing, but red dots, red volatility stops and downward momentum. Basically the same with most of these charts, but we have a downtrend here with the IWM. So you want to look back and see this type of thing. This is really what you would want. And we've had this downward trending. Once it crossed here, we had this pretty much downward trending momentum. There's a little blip right here where you might have gotten in and out quickly, but the rest of it's been flat or down for quite some time. And the NASDAQ is, here's the downtrend. You can see downward slope and red volatility stops. So the weekly chart you can use as well, and it's less volatile in that sense, and it shows you stronger trends that you might not see on a daily chart. So none of these look really good to me. The other thing we can do is we go to the sectors, and I have a scan on here for above the V stop, above the 50, and an upsloping momentum. And there are, I'll go back to daily, but copper, it looks pretty good. I don't like this sort of thing, but it might be twisting around again. But there's some things that are energy is done well, but there's red volatility stops and there's a downward sloping momentum right here. Gold has been popping out, but it had a big drop yesterday. But I think, if we go to the weekly on gold, you can see that we have this potential turnaround, but it gets crushed here, at this recent high here. But I think, there's a chance that this, after a long downtrend, if I draw a line, oh yeah, I already have the line, sorry, that we've kind of broken through that. So I think there is a chance gold will do well. But it's kind of based on the current Russia situation, and it may drop if things get settled, fairly quickly. But it should be going up because of inflation and stuff like that. But the other thing is commodities. We had a big drop yesterday, but there's been a really big uptrend. Soybeans and corn, that just dropped a lot all of a sudden. So I had a nice trend, and then it just boom. So I don't know that's pretty volatile and big ups and downs. But the base metals as well, which is partly the copper, but momentum is pretty flat, but it's been in an uptrend. Once you see your ETF that you like, if you like base metals, you can click on this open component watch list. Oops, that one didn't work. It doesn't always work for certain things. Yeah, because those are commodities, so it might not be. Let's see if I find energy, let's say. If you decide you want to buy energy, then you can look at stocks within that sector. Same with metals and mining, you can do that as well. Sort by exchange, you can go to US Steel, stuff like that. FCX is the copper. So you might decide to buy the stock instead. All right, I think that's good for now. If you want to get TC1000, check out the link in the description below. And there's some other links down there as well for other things. Talk to you guys in the next video.